So as we speak now, there is no production into the TNP and the NCTL because we can no longer sustain the operations. This is not because we don't go back to replace pipelines that are attacked. No, as you do, you will have repeated insertions on these pipelines by bandits. Mr. Chairman, it got to a point where the Bonny terminal, when you inject 239,000 barrels per day, it got to a point where we could only receive about 3,000 barrels per day. So there is simply no business reason for anyone to continue producing oil. Yes. It came gradually to a level where we can only receive 3,000 barrels per day, and it got to zero and we shut down. Mr. Chairman, there's obvious implications of this. That when you lose close to 200,000 barrels per day, even at average prices of $65 to the barrel, we lost close to $4 billion between January and December 2021 in terms of value lost. And in 2022, January to date, the losses have escalated to over 250,000 barrels per day, and at current prices of $100 to the barrel, even within this short period, would have lost close to $1.5 billion of value. This situation is clearly demonstrated in the chart below this, where you will see the decline of production from the Bonny terminal. In January 2021, we are producing 239,000 barrels to the lines that will fit the Bonny terminal. We only received 190,000 barrels, even at that time. That means we would have lost about 19,000 barrels per day during that period to oil thieves and vandals. This situation deteriorated from January 2021 until this date, whereby March 17th or so, I think to be precise, March 7th, it came to zero. So we shut down the line, and we declare force majeure on it. For the Forcados terminal, not same level of losses, but we still lose production. It's probably the most reliable of the land facilities, land trunk lines that we have. Even on the Forcados line, we are losing up to 37,000 barrels per day, even on that line. Needless to say, Mr. Chairman, that this is all coming as a result of acts of vandals and oil thieves. Mr. Chairman, to bring home this, the next page, and it's also on the screen, Mr. Chairman. This is not Photoshop. I took this from my own camera when we had an overfly 2 weeks ago across these assets. To show you the level of degradation of the environment and the activities of oil banders, it is clearly obvious when you apply these lines. This transcends all our lines in all our activities, from Imo into River State, into Bayelsa, Delta, Akwa Ibom now. And I'm sure happy the honorable member from Akwa Ibom is here. Even in Akwa Ibom, this is happening as we speak. Mr. Chairman, the next slide may interest you. If you can take a look at it, Mr. Chairman, with the slide before you. Mr. Chairman, this is just a settlement of illegal refineries. This is very common. This is not the only one that is there. It's dotted across our pipeline all the way to the terminals. because the next slide, Mr. Chairman, was from my camera also. The Honourable Minister of State led us with the Chief of Defence Staff and other stakeholders, including the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, that we took a direct visit at these locations to where this theft is going on and where the actions of the government security agencies are now coming on the table. The picture you see is practically telling you that what you are seeing, for instance, in slide 7, Mr. Chairman, can you go back to slide 7? To your left on the screen, Mr. Chairman, is one of the typical illegal refineries. These are so many, so uncountable, and so obvious that it has brought us to where we are. Mr. Chairman, needless to bore you, that this is happening consistently, getting more and more desperate as it's going on daily basis. So many interventions have taken place, Mr. Chairman. As you pull out the insertions, they will fix it the next day. Mr. Chairman, to put it in context, within a distance of less than 20 kilometers, we remove 85 insertions within 3 weeks. So you can imagine, Mr. Chairman, when you are running a pipeline of 300 to 400 kilometers. Mr. Chairman, I would like you to but I'm sure we all have generators in our homes, many of us, not all, except the solar people. I can tell you that until last 3 weeks, most of the diesel that you use in your homes are coming from these refineries. And that is why when we took them out, or some of them were taken out, when we cut off the line of supply, by stopping the trucks from moving, by the government security raising down trucks when they arrest them with illegal AGO, that's when you heard that AGO got to 900 naira per litre. That's not the market price for AGO. And obviously, once the supply becomes constrained, prices will go up. And we're happy that NMPC's intervention has brought down the prices to normal market level, and will continue to do so that people have alternatives to this illegal crude. Why people buy it is because it was cheaper. When it was being sold in the market, that was not the market price of AGO that many of us were paying for. And we're happy that this intervention is working, and that hopefully in the next 1 to 2 months, we are very, very optimistic that with the combined efforts, including some other technologies, which I will also not mention on this platform, that will deliver on this project, and that hopefully it will bring sanity back. Mr. Chairman, no doubt, it's a very, very difficult circumstance for the industry, and that is why, despite the good intentions and the provisions of the PIA, no one will produce oil and recover zero and put money back into the business. And that is why investments are very weak, despite the good fiscal environment that the PIA has brought. And I have the misfortune, or actually the privilege, to answer questions around our investment climate in very many platforms, international platforms. And they will tell you, we bring our money, how are you sure they will not steal the oil? And it's very difficult to give a straight answer.